If you know me, you know I am all about pistol-mounted optics, but they're not magic devices. Hi everyone, welcome to today's badge cam lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I'm your host, John Correa.
And I'm your co-host, Mike Williver. Today's video comes to us from the 77th Street Division of the LAPD.
Download the ASP Unlimited app for all the content you love from Active Self-Protection and more with no interference from YouTube. No ads, no age gates, exclusive videos, seminars, classes, and more on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Android TV. Hit the link in the description or download ASP Unlimited from your app store today.
Call has come into LAPD of an aggravated assault and a man with a gun. And these two officers, which certainly look like a field training officer and a rookie trainee, are going to be first to find this guy. We have the dash cam and we have two badge cams. Let's listen in and hear what happened.
Back on 415 with Matt with a gun.
He's gonna take off. Heads up, heads up. Say, he's running southbound, but he's running southbound and straight up.
Southbound.
He's running southbound and straight up.
He's running southbound and straight up.
He's got a gun, he's got a gun. Heads up, get it. Heads up. Say, he's running now. Heads up, partner.
Yes, sir.
All right. Heads up. Put it down.
Put it down.
Put it down. Hey, we're on Gonzalo. Put it out. And 5'8", he's got a gun in his hand. Heads up, partner. Heads up.
5'8" and
He's southbound, Gonzalo 5'9".
Gonzalo 5'8", he has gun.
Yeah, hey, we're southbound Gonzalo. He's got his gun in his hand. We're southbound Gonzalo from 5'9". Damn, heads up. He's running to the back of 5'9".
He's running to the back of 5'9".
He's got a gun.
He's got a gun in his hand.
Hey, put the gun down! Officer detail, shot fired. I got it. Heads up.
Yes, sir.
Trophy 5'1", officer detail, shot fired. Damn it. You okay?
Yes, sir. You good?
Trophy 5'1", officer detail, shot fired. Suspects to the rear. Wearing a blue shirt. He's armed with the handgun. You good?
Yes, sir.
Hey, get on the ground!
Get
the fuck on the ground! Get the fuck on the ground! Don't move!
Officer needs help. 5 Avenue. 5.
Do not move!
Hey, Master Baya!
Don't move!
Master Baya!
Don't move! Put your arms out to your side! Put your arms out to your side! Put your arms out to the side! Don't move! Face away from me! Heads up.
5'8" and
He's southbound, one side on 5'9".
Gonzalo 5'8", he has gun.
Yeah, hey, we're southbound Gonzalo. He's got his gun in his hand. We're southbound Gonzalo from 5'9". Damn, heads up. He's running to the back of 5'9".
He's running to the back of 5'9".
He's got a gun. He's still got the gun.
In his hand.
Hey, put the gun down! Shots fired. Officer needs help. Shots fired. I got it. Heads up. Trophy 5'1", officer needs help. Shots fired. Damn it. You okay?
Yes, sir.
Trophy 5'1", officer needs help. Shots fired. We're going to be 5. Gonzalo, suspects to the rear. Wearing a blue shirt. He's armed with the handgun. Heads up. Put it down. Hey, we're on Gonzalo.
Yes, sir.
Put it out. And 5'8", he's got a gun in his hand. Heads up, partner. Heads up.
5'8" and
He's southbound, one side on 5'9".
Gonzalo 5'8", he has gun.
Yeah, hey, we're southbound Gonzalo. He's got a gun in his hand. We're southbound Gonzalo from 5'9". Damn, heads up. He's running to the back of 5'9".
He's running to the back of 5'9".
He's got a gun. He's still
got a gun in his hand.
Hey, put the gun down! Officer needs help.
Yes, sir.
Heads up.
Yes, sir.
Trophy 5'1", officer needs help. Shots fired. Damn it. You okay?
Yes, sir. You good?
Trophy 5'1", officer needs help. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Gonzalo, suspects to the rear. Wearing a blue shirt. He's armed with the handgun.
Don't move.
Hey, 40 holster up. Get your 40 ready. 40 holster up. Get your 40 ready.
I got it.
Hook him up.
Yes, sir.
Corner, hook him up.
Yes, sir.
Right to that. Copy.
Where'd you toss it, Brian?
On the roof.
Check his weight.
On the roof.
Our guy was not hit by any of the rounds. He ended up taking this, what looks to me to be some kind of a stun gun, and throwing it on the roof. You saw they took him into custody. He is facing a plethora of charges for that, including attempted murder on a police officer.
That was a lot of rounds.
Yeah, and that guy didn't get hit one time.
Maybe he should buy a lottery
He
ticket.
should buy a scratchy lottery, get on it. He's only going to do like 18 months anyway.
I mean, it's true, but clearly he's not making good decisions in life.
Buy the ticket.
So we want to frame this one, Mike. I know at the end of things, we know already that this is some kind of a stun gun in the guy's hands, but we don't ask officers to be perfect in their understanding. But right now here, they've got a call of a man with a gun. They see a guy that meets the description. He starts running away from them, and you can see right here, he's running with a gun-shaped object in his hand. And any reasonable person would take that to be a gun. And the officers here are responding to that. So the call primed them for that. Dispatch primed them for that, and then they saw what certainly any reasonable person would do as a gun. And I get it that they want to get this guy into custody if they can. And Mike, you know, we only expect our officers to make reasonable choices as trained individuals, and here I certainly think they did.
Yeah, and here bear in mind, viewer, we are looking at a 144p Axon body cam that's been zoomed in like 20 times, so it's pretty grainy, but I've chased people who were holding a gun in their hand. This is something I've done, and this is exactly how that looks. This is what it looks like. Some people, I think, have seen movies and TV, and they don't tend to run swinging their arms like you normally would when you're running. That gun tends to stay down at the side. It's just sort of a learned behavior, I think, from Hollywood. But that's exactly what this looks like. So if I'm rolling up on this, as John said, with what dispatch has said and what I've heard from the call notes, and now I'm seeing this guy, he's running. Why is he running? For nothing good. And he certainly appears to be holding a gun. I would assume, yes, this guy is armed with some kind of firearm. That would be my assumption moving forward until I knew otherwise. And as we see when he turns the corner, then he points it at him. This guy obviously wanted them to think it was a firearm, even though it wasn't.
Right. So this is our big thing here, right? We expect our officers to make good choices. And I think these officers did make a good and reasonable choice given the information that they had. And this is the same information that you or I would have as a private citizen in this situation, granted that we wouldn't be chasing bad guys like this. So then he turns and points it at him. And now, as any reasonable person would see here, wait a minute, this guy intends to do me deadly harm. Is he a deadly threat to himself? To the officers themselves is what I mean there. Yes. To the community? Yes. Do they need to use deadly force to stop this guy? I think the answer to that in every question here is yes. Now, we're going to talk about the skills piece here in a little bit. But first, we want to talk about, did the officers have justification to shoot this guy? And that's an important question in a modern context, Mike. Did you have justification to do what you did? I think if the officers had run him over with the car, it probably would have been okay.
100%. I was kind of wondering why that wasn't an option. I'll have to look at the tape again once we're done here, but maybe there was a point at which they could do it. I know some of the viewers might be thinking, well, maybe he's trying to commit suicide by cop. I really don't think so. And the reason I say that is this. He's running, right? If someone does suicide by cop, they're generally advancing on the police and trying to get them to react the way they want them to react. I think what he's doing here is I think what's going through his mind is, hey, I want to slow these cops down for just a couple of seconds, make him duck, make him swerve, or make him, go around the corner so I can get away. I think that's what we're looking at here. And yeah, this is 100% looks exactly like the way this guy intends it to look, which is I'm going to make these cops think I have a gun to throw them off their game and hopefully get away. It didn't work out for him. I think the car, honestly, at a couple points here might have been a better option. If the car goes a little too far, you might wreck somebody's front wall or hit a tree or whatever, but it beats, potentially sending rounds downrange to God knows where.
And it certainly takes giant cojones to use the car because you're closing in on a deadly threat, all right? And I wouldn't recommend that to, a private citizen because we want to break contact as private citizens with deadly threats. But officers, your mission is to take bad guys into custody and take them out of society, so you got to close with these deadly threats, and that's very difficult to do as you see the guy continue to retreat out here. But that courage, that emotional fitness that says, I'm better at this than you are, and you may be a perp and luck does count, but I am the one that is going to prevail in this because my superior mindset and my superior skill set makes that. And as they come around the corner here, Mike, and they get a stop, I was able to look this over. I have a very good estimate via Google Maps that this is about around 110 feet, give or take a foot or two. So as the guy comes around the corner there, and we're going to see him duck his head back out. I've zoomed it in here so that you can see just barely peeking out from the middle of the dash cam. So that means the officer on the left has a little better view for sure than the officer on the right. But you've got 110 feet here, something akin to 35, 36, 37 yards. So officers, Your 25-yard pistol qual in your department qualifications is great and important, but you better be able to hit a small target at even farther than that in order to protect your life and the lives of the people in the community. And quite frankly, your department issued training is not going to get you there, Mike.
Yeah, as a former trainer for the federal government for firearms and defensive tactics, I can state, unfortunately, that that's true. The furthest we ever called out to, or tested out to at least, was 25 yards. I don't have a lot to add to what John just said. He kind of covered it all right there. So I'm going to add this. You may be asking, well, why are they pressing the matter? Why don't they give him more room, blah, blah, blah. You can't give this guy room. At any moment, I was worried a moment ago when he was down the other street. There was appeared to be a woman getting out of her car. He could have tried to carjack her. There was another vehicle there on the side of the road. This is the time to press in, right? Sometimes we say, hey, hold off and let it breathe a little bit. This is definitely not one of those times. And as they came around the corner here just before this, where John froze this tape, they had an opportunity to use the car right there, but that's something you have to have thought through ahead of time. You're not going to think of this in the moment, right? This is a mental rep. So if you're watching this, officers and deputies, remember that moment when they come around the corner and they got this nice big long alley and the guy is facing away, running away from them. He is, as far as I know, he is still armed. He is still a threat to the general public. He has threatened them with what they believe to be a firearm. You are 110% justified in using the car. And odds are hitting him at 25 or 30 miles an hour is not going to be a fatal thing, right? It's going to mess the guy up, but it's probably not going to kill him, but it's definitely going to take the starch out of his jammies. It's going to make him not able to fight back, not able to use his gun anymore. In fact, the gun's almost certainly going to come out of his hand. Just something to think about if you're watching this for training. This is your mental rep.
Yeah, if you're authorized to shoot him, you're authorized to use deadly force against him, and that's just completely regardless of which form that deadly force takes. And so the patrol cruiser is a very effective tool. Use it when you can. So we see all these shots go downrange, and Mike, we're going to definitely talk about those because they didn't hit him. Okay, but the psychological stop did work, right? He decided, oh, this is stupid. I'm going to get ventilated here. So he yeets the gun, the gun-shaped object up on the roof, and then they're going to be able to get him into custody. So, Mike, I mean, psych stops do work.
They do. They do, in fact. I would say everything that comes after this, I kind of feel bad for what I firmly believe to be a trainee or rookie in the passenger seat, because I was that kid one time where all of a sudden now we're out of training, we're in the real world, we're running and gunning and doing stuff like this. And it is a lot of cognitive overload. And so I think what we're about to see here in the next few places where John has stopped the video and the things we're going to see moving forward is just that. It's an FTO trying desperately to guide this young man, but too many things are happening too quickly and things are just kind of all over the map. And I know, John, you wanted to address this driving with the gun out and switching hands. I don't love it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Listen, if you're driving the car, drive the car. I get it. You're not real confident with your rookie, but when you're driving, you got to drive. Now, he gets out, gets a good, braced position against his door. That was actually a really good decision. And he lets a couple shots fly at a reasonable pace. I think he's actually seeing his sights. Officers, you got to remember, grip is the master. Sights set the pace. Trigger is the servant. And you got to settle that dot on the target and leave it there while you finish your trigger press. And that takes practice. And the other part of this is the FTO here is going to duck out of the way when the guy starts pointing that tool at him. And this is where confidence really matters because of competence. You got to know that your best cover here is to put a bullet in that guy. And the only way you're going to do that is if you get all the grip, all the sights, and all the trigger here, and you really are better at it than he is.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to training. Every single time it goes back to your training. Listen, if you're not getting the training you need from your agency, and chances are you're not, depending on where you are, listen, it's up to you to go find a range with a longer distance. I used to set up a small steel plate at 75 yards, and I would just practice slow timed fire until I felt confident that I could hit that 10 times out of 10. Now, was I being shot at? No, I was not. Was I under stress? Not really. But getting that extra rep and getting that extra training in the department doesn't provide you will pay off, because regardless, as long as the department is training you to the basic standards of whatever state you're in, they're not going to be held liable. But you might, if you make the wrong decision here, or if you miss and hit someone else or whatever, you're going to want to have that level of confidence John is talking about. That confidence comes from competence, unconscious competence, doing it enough times that you know, hey, I am better than this guy. I am going to prevail in this fight. And I feel like he felt confident, but he wasn't quite as confident as I would hope for him to be in this moment.
Well, and real life stressful situations are real life stressful situations. And I think this FTO is trying to do the best he can. He doesn't really have a whole lot of trust in his trainee, which I don't blame him right now watching what happened here. But recognizing that, hey, if I don't have a 50-yard range where I'm at, I can put a small target at the ranges I had, a 2-inch or 3-inch circle at 25 yards. And you go, gosh, that's a small target, John. It is a small target, but it is quite doable, specifically and especially with red dot equipped pistols, or green is what I like. But if you've got that level of skill and you can build that level of skill, it does take some work, then you can know in that moment, I have the skill to do this, I got to do that. You know, I hate the hand mics. You know, I hate the fact he's got a radio in his hand. Get a pork chop mic, for goodness sakes. Anybody on LAPD, it's $40 on Amazon, for goodness sakes. Buy yourself a pork chop, so then that way you're not having to stick that in your hand for that long. You can get 2 hands back on the gun. Oh boy, now the rookie. Let's think about this. He's doing the hand switching thing as well. Well, where did he learn that from, I wonder? It's okay for his FTO, so it's okay for me. Now let's watch him get out. Let's slow it down a little bit here. Watch how fast his shots come at 40 yards. Bang, bang, bang. And then he takes his hand off the gun and fires the third one single-handed. I don't know this officer. I don't wish him any ill whatsoever. If I had to guess, I would guess that was a negligent discharge. I would guess he is trying to reposition himself, and that round cooked off out into the wild blue yonder, because I'm a darn good shooter, Mike, and hitting a target at 38 yards or so, single-handed, strong hand only from a compromised shooting position, I wouldn't even try it. So I'm struggling with this one.
Yeah, honestly, the first round looked to be relatively controlled. That second round, I don't know where that muzzle was pointed. It didn't look great. The third round is just, I can't add anything to what you said. It looks to me, as you know, from my armchair and from the comfort of my home making this video, it sure looks like he didn't intend to pull the trigger there. But you know, this goes back to training. I don't know what LAPD's training is like these days. It used to be spectacular. I don't know if it's degraded. I don't know if this is from a lack of funding or whatever. There's been some issues in California with that sort of thing lately. But the bottom line is you just got to do better than this. Even as a rookie, even as a new guy, even under stress, the public is relying on you to do your job and to do it competently. And I don't love anything after that first round. Just looked really, really sketchy to me. Didn't love it.
And listen, I think, you know, a lot of private citizens that are watching this would be like, well, he stinks and he's no good, whatever, and he should get a new job. There's not very many private citizens that can get this too, outside of the real training junkie community. You can get this good, but you're going to have to work at it, okay? I've fired a lot of rounds and taken a lot of training in order to feel competent and to feel like I can make this shot if I absolutely have to. So, and as a rookie, are you going to get that? I don't know, but we see some other gun handling problems here too. So as we advance it here, you're going to see he dives back into the car. And when he dives back into the car, unfortunately, I got to show you the fact that he's going to dive in there with his finger on the trigger. And you can see that there in the upper right hand, that he has his finger on the trigger and he is pointing that across the dashboard. I don't think he muzzled his FTO with that, but that is bad practice. And you have to just ingrain those habits so deeply in your soul that they are absolutely just an unthought known to you in your world. Because if you don't do that, you can endanger people. Now here, he didn't hurt anybody. Nobody got shot who didn't need to get shot. Okay, fine. But that's just a disaster waiting to happen. So if you're in the academy and you're watching this as training as a police, academy recruit, you take those gun handling skills incredibly seriously and you take them with you out on the street and you practice them every day until they're second nature. Pretty please. Yeah,
honestly, the number one and number two, in my opinion, rules of firearm safety is where you're pointing the gun and keeping your finger high and off of the, outside of the trigger guard, up on the slide, high in the register, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. But the basic principle is don't point a gun at anything you're not willing to destroy and keep your finger off the trigger till you're ready to shoot. So if this is an indication of their training lately, that's not good. LAPD training department, if you're watching this, you need to fix this because it's a very serious issue. It's not a joke. It's not cool. It's not funny to have your finger on the trigger pointed in some random direction like this. This should be something that by the end of the academy, this should be second nature. This should have been ingrained in your head so hard that you couldn't possibly forget it. I'm not going to say what agency it was, but my first police job, somebody accidentally muzzled somebody on the range on like day 2, and he got smacked in the head and got his gun taken away, and he got sent home for the rest of the day. That needs to be the level of seriousness with which we take this sort of thing so that this doesn't happen in the field. It's just unacceptable. And I don't mean to come down too hard on this, what I believe to be a new guy. But this could be a product of training not quite emphasizing the fundamentals enough.
And listen, for all of us that are private citizens, let's take a mental rep here, right? And recognize we are responsible for every round that leaves the muzzle of our gun. We're responsible for where the gun is pointed. We're responsible for our safe firearms handling skills. And I just want us all to take this very seriously. And I want us to recognize we cannot make mistakes like this. We can't cook rounds off into the wild blue yonder. We cannot muzzle people with our gun. We cannot keep our finger on the trigger when we are not intending to fire the gun. Now, okay, they get this guy into custody. All right, fine. It worked. The psychological stopped worked. And so a good outcome. And why would this guy do all this? I don't want to delve into the psyche of somebody who would decide to do this to the cops. And why would he do it with a stun gun and turn what could be some serious charges into, let's add a whole bunch more serious charges to it? I don't know. And I will say at the end, again, as we just sit and look at the whatever it is, it's not a taser. It's not the taser brand. It's not an Axon product there. That's some kind of a cheap piece of crap stun gun is what that is. But recognize that certainly at any kind of distance looks like a gun. And if you're going to do stupid stuff like this, as they say, when you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. And this guy was pretty lucky, Mike, that he didn't earn himself some bullet holes.
Yeah, absolutely. As my father would say, that may not be a real gun, but it'll get you shot, right? It'll definitely get you shot. Look, I think at the end of the day, I want to commend both of these officers, both the what I believe to be FTO and the trainee, for their bravery, for their tenacity, for not giving up, for sticking with it, and for chasing someone they believe to be an armed individual to try to protect the public. I think their hearts were in the right place. I think what we're looking at here, all the issues that John and I detailed, to me, come down to training. So we need to take our training more seriously. So training departments, if you're looking at this, don't get mad at us, right? Double down and make sure that your rookies are learning the right stuff right off the bat so they and your other officers can cover their ass.